The year is 2023. Much of Europe and America are currently on fire. The ice caps are melting at their fastest rate ever. AI is on the verge of outgrowing our intelligence completely, taking control of our nuclear weapons and turning us all to dust. And most importantly, you're faced with the incredibly difficult decision of whether you should part with your hard-earned $60 and invest it in Squad. But don't worry, I'm here to guide you. And by the end of this video, you'll know whether Squad is worth your money or not. Unlike many videos on this topic, and topics like this, I'm going to assume that you are in fact not a brain-dead idiot, and do in fact know what a video game is, and the basic concept behind Squad. You're likely interested in tactical shooters in general, or at the very least, like the idea of them, but are perhaps more of a Battlefield/Call of Duty player looking to atone for your sins. You feel the Lord or other miracle-granting deity would frown upon you at the pearly gates for your indulgence in solo run-and-gun tactics, lack of voice communication, and over-reliance on your youthful, fast reflexes instead of actually working with your teammates. You see the more realistic team-based shooter Squad as a gateway to your repentance. But I'll tell you what doesn't require repentance. This video's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. If you're anything like me, you dream of the day where you can throw your teammates out the window and replace them with a carefully collected and curated team of champions to tactically defeat your enemies in battle. Raid Shadow Legends allows you to do just that, with literally hundreds of champions to collect, insane boss fights to overcome, wild loot to salvage, and a deep RPG battle system to master, all for free and from the comfort of your own phone. One of the biggest, baddest new bosses in Raid is Hydra. This beast has 6 heads, and unfortunately for you, with names like these, it doesn't look like any of them have much banter. The head of Blight poisons you, Torment terrifies you, Mischief steals your buffs and uses them against you, Wrath is just a bit angry, Decay tears you down while building up his allies, and the head of Suffering, well, I'm not sure you're even ready to hear that one. Rest assured, it involves a thing called Pain Link, which you certainly wouldn't want to face without some backup. And you're in luck with Raid's latest new clan-based competition, Hydra Clash. Here, you and 4 other clans battle the Hydra to see who can ruthlessly beat it into submission the hardest. The better you smash, the better the loot, so gather the clan and ruin this Hydra's day. And when you do show up, don't show up unprepared. Use my link in the description or scan my QR code to pick up some hot bonuses. We're talking this fiery fella Drake, as well as some useful trinkets, energy refills, skill tomes, XP boosters, all you need to get the edge on those pesky 6 heads. And I can't wait to see you knee deep in Hydra Pain Link. Thank you Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. Flux. A concept often used in mathematics and vector calculus, describes any effect that appears to pass or travel through a surface or substance. However, used in simple man speak, Squad in 2023 is in a state of immense flux. This is of course due to the recent introduction of the Infantry Combat Overhaul, or ICO, as Reddit has taken to describing it, because typing it out was getting tiring during the endless heated arguments neckbeards across the world are waging on the topic. Truth be told, I imagine the publicity the playtests for this overhaul have garnered are likely leaving many a non-Squad player wondering whether it's finally time they jumped on the bandwagon. And this is where it gets complicated. Vanilla Squad and ICO Squad are 2 completely different games. They may be built on the same engine and supported by the same team using identical assets, but they play completely differently. Studies have shown that marijuana is often used as a gateway drug for more extreme alternatives like heroin. I would describe Vanilla Squad in a similar fashion. I'll admit, Vanilla Squad cannot be rolled and smoked, and it certainly won't mellow you out, but it does serve as a respectable entry point to the tactical shooter universe. The game has a basic level of teamwork some of the time, and occasionally requires a small amount of communication.
Wow! I think there's a couple nearby.
Fish nipples? Just enough to make you feel like you might actually be part of a team, but not enough to take away from the feeling that you are in fact the main character. Your stamina, recoil and weapon sway are all very forgiving. You can move around the map pretty much however you want. and your previous experience in other first-person shooters will apply here. You get that large battle experience without the drawbacks of having to endlessly walk vast expanses of nothingness, attempting to make light banter with a bunch of people who don't like you. There is very limited downtime and plenty to do, with cool immersive explosions and meaty sound design keeping your dopamine levels topped up.
There's 16 guys straight west.
Sounds pretty good. But there are some people that like a Big Mac, and there are others that prefer a perfectly grilled patty of prime grade beef, nestled between a freshly baked brioche bun adorned with a symphony of hand-picked heirloom tomatoes, caramelized onions, crisp lettuce, and velvety avocado, all harmoniously united by a secret, tantalizing sauce and served with artisanal, hand-cut fries dusted with premium salt and aromatic herbs. The point I'm trying to make is that the new ICO Squad is a premium, high-grade, grass-fed, free-range squad. The kind of squad you'd be willing to pay extra for. The kind of squad that's more nuanced, has a deeper flavour profile, made of hand-crushed Italian grapes picked by someone's old Italian uncle and aged over a lifetime. Not some run-of-the-mill child labour grapes crushed by a robotic arm and artificially aged by having my ex talk to it for 5 minutes. It's got things like suppression, barrel misalignment, actual legit recoil and stamina systems, opening up opportunities of increased teamwork, reduced solo play and run and gun elements, and a general elevation of the tactical portion of the tactical shooter.
Okay, weapons free, we have a BTR anyway, weapons free.
Cool.
This has left much of the current community divided and may likely leave any non-squad player rather confused. So what is Squad right now? Squad currently sits in a weird position, where people like me largely completely avoid vanilla Squad,
Oh, don't look this way.
but absolutely love the ICO build.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, vanilla players threaten to leave the game altogether should the ICO be implemented. To make things more confusing, each ICO playtest feels like a different game, as tweaks to mechanics in each iteration only go to further dilute, confuse, and divide opinions. Purchasing Squad to many will come as an investment, and like any great investment, it's best not to look exclusively to where the market is, but instead to where it could be. Buying Squad for its current vanilla state, I think, would be a mistake, as this style of gameplay is unlikely to remain for much longer. Squad developer OWI seem fairly certain that some kind of combat overhaul will eventually hit the main game and become the new Squad. Although they've offered no time frame for said development, no clear path on implementation, how many further playtests there will be, or how far they're looking to go with it. Some, I think, would consider that shaky ground. Like many things, I feel it will likely come down to just how poor you are. If spending $60 on a game is insurmountably expensive, my friend, no offense, but you have bigger issues. Assuming you have the money, but you're just stingy, I'd wait and see what a final ICO build actually looks like.
Whoa.
Presumably, the release of such an update would come with a sale.
I like what I'm seeing. I really do.
In any case, for my money, while Vanilla Squad I don't think is worth $60, the current ICO build absolutely is, and I can't help but feel excited for the future of the game. But what do you think? Would you part with $60 for a fine Squad wine, or is that money better placed in various AI-inspired ventures? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check out my link in the description or QR code on the screen to help you on your path to beating the Hydra to death. Other than that, all the best, and I hope to see you in the next one.
Another one bites the dust. And another one down, and another one down, and another one bites the dust.